Folks, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. For folks who don't realize this, we are in the home of one of the greatest songwriters, performers that will ever stand in front of a mic, Gordon Lightfoot. And the reason why we're here is because of a documentary you both have put together on his life. I was lucky enough to have a chance to see this. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Congratulations. I want to ask right off the top, how did this whole process come together, and how did you guys convince Gordon Lightfoot to do this?
Well, we've known him for a long time, and we've worked with him many times. And over the years, we sort of developed a trust, and I think he didn't really want to do a film like this until he was ready, and he just thought, about 5 years ago, he said, yeah, it's time, let's go ahead.
What was the process, though, thought in how you wanted to do this? Because we are talking about a Canadian treasure, an icon in songwriting. So many artists have re-sung his songs. Nobody can sing his songs the way his songs are sung. What approach did you want to do with this for Gordon Lightfoot fans and for people who may not know who he is?
Well, I think that's a good point. I mean, luckily, we had a long development period, so we had a chance to write out our ideas and present them to the CBC and to the other funding agencies. So when you start to write down his accomplishments, his history, the different eras that he's been a part of, you look at the changes that he made from, schoolboy soprano to, basically stadium act in the 70s and everything that he meant to Canada. It does help you figure out what your touch points are. And but more than anything, we just felt like Gord's music really speaks for itself. People are interested in the man and they're interested in his history, but the music is everything. And so we wanted to do a film that was authentic to who Gord is, because he is a very authentic person, as you know him. He's that guy. He's Gordon Lightfoot. He can't be anybody else. So we wanted to show the man, but more than anything, we wanted to show the artist, the struggle of being an artist that Gord has been. He's not. It isn't always easy to put yourself out there, to put your innermost emotions and feelings into a song and play them and have people judge it and everything. And you know how sensitive a guy Gord is, even though he's a regular type of guy. So we just wanted to really try to do justice to his artistry.
And to his process, too.
And that's what I was going to say. I mean, we do get a chance to really learn about a songwriting process. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but everybody always thinks of Gordon Lightfoot as the songwriter and performer. We get a chance to see some other things that have developed before or even in between the songwriting and artists. How did you guys find out about this stuff and some of the footage that we're going to get to see? How did you guys find this stuff?
Martha started researching a long time ago on Gordon Lightfoot when we did an earlier documentary. And she's a really good researcher, but we had some very good researchers on our film as well. And they dug up a couple of things we hadn't seen before, or at least one.
Yes, for sure.
But did it surprise you in some of the things you found?
Yes, absolutely. And we also, there's been a lot of goodwill towards this film. And that's come in from CBC and Documentary Channel, where it's going to be on, it will be televised at the end of 2019, around November, early December, it's going to be on TV. But for instance, so we had a great visual researcher at CBC who worked with our researchers as well to really drum things up. We just wanted to really have a look at everything and try to tell his story using those older pictures and the comments of people. We didn't want it to be a very historical, dry, and then Gordon Lightfoot did this, We wanted it to be kind of flowy and have a lot of feeling and just vibe, I guess.
That's the other thing, too. You kind of mentioned celebrities. I don't want to give names, but celebrities of all walks. And they talk about how his music impacted them. Was it just, I guess it must have been easy to get these people, but how did you condense it down to say, we'll take these folks, when there's probably about 10,000 more who are dying to do the same thing?
Well, we had a limited time frame to make the film as well. We made it in an unusually, I think, short period of time for a documentary. So that was one thing, but And we did, well, frankly, we did have a little trouble because we were interviewing in the summer when people were on tour. But somehow people wanted to do it, and we managed to work it into our and their schedules.
And you know what? You did a fantastic job with that, too. People should realize, too, that in this film, Gordon is very honest about his life. Can you talk a little bit about that, please? And again, did that surprise you and how honest he was about just not about his music, but his personal life as well?
Well, again, that's sort of actually tied into your question about the interviews because, for one thing, Gord had said, when we started this project that he was ready to talk, and we said, well, what do you want to talk about? Will you talk about the 60s? Will you talk about the 70s? He said, I'm willing to talk about everything. So we knew that he was willing. But sometimes it's not always easy for him. So we knew that the best way to get at his story and for him to feel comfortable enough was to spend the time with him. So we allocated a big part of our shooting budget to spending the time with Gord so that we could really get at those moments that are beyond, when somebody like a sports figure or a celebrity, when they've been interviewed literally thousands of times, they start to come up with answers that they can use. And we wanted obviously to go beyond those stock answers. Not that he's ever inauthentic, but it's just kind of goes with, right? Yeah. So we knew if we spent the time with Gord, we could really get at his story. So we decided early on that instead of going for every top celebrity we could get, that we would get people that we felt were representational of a few different areas, and that they would those people would represent that. And we wanted people that were maybe a lot of Canadian people that really knew Gord and who really had that same feeling about Gord that we have, because most Canadians share that feeling, right? Whether you're 9 or 90, that's a cliche, but a lot of Canadians feel close to him and feel grateful to him and do venerate him as a pioneer and an amazing artist.
One thing I do want to mention that I think people are going to be very surprised when they realize the amount of celebrities and songwriters that just worship the things that he's done, and we get a chance to see these people. We see their faces and things like that. I can only imagine, like, this is under 2 hours, correct?
Yes,
okay.
Less than
90 minutes. What footage is that we don't get a chance to see? I mean, is there a chance that somehow there could be a package put together later on? Because I can only imagine what you had to leave behind, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see maybe sometime in the future.
Well, if it's a big success, maybe the funders and the wonderful people who paid for this film, and there were a lot of funders. Rogers came in as well, and Gary Slate, and
Canadian
along with
Media
the
Fund, Telefilm.
Yeah.
Everybody was really on side. I think he's such a cultural figure. And I think everybody really got behind this film because there's a lot of important docs being made as well. And Canada is a great documentary scene. A lot of amazing stories are being told. But I think people felt that this was significant enough to put a big part of their support towards it. So as for that, I don't know, we'll have some extra content on cbc.ca when
There we go. I love that.
Yeah.
Before we go, though, I'm going to ask each of you the same question. What do you hope fans who get a chance to see this documentary, what do you hope they get from this?
Oh my, just maybe simply a deeper appreciation. Martha and I sometimes talk about that maybe because Gord is so well known, he is sometimes taken for granted. But he's a deep man. He's a very private man, and I think I'd like people to take away that they feel they know him a little better. And I'm pretty sure they're going to like him too.
Well, I think that what would be an amazing thing is that if everybody went home after the movie and either put a Gordon Lightfoot LP on their hi-fi.
Thank you for saying that.
Or, their streaming services, dialed up a Lightfoot song playlist, and, put a log on the fire and just enjoyed it. It's something that he's given us. Gord's done this film to I think, protect his work and to because of the responsibility he feels towards his work and his music. And so that would be the very best thing that we could hope for, would be that people would just continue to enjoy and learn
discover,
about and
and
discover
discover.
the music of Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, because his catalog is huge, and there are songs really that are in the film that are not as well known, but they're beautiful. And in the course of the film, you listen to and hear the songs again and again because you're checking your film and everything, but you have really come to love them, to love them. They're beautiful songs, all of them.
Even, and I'm not going to say the song, even when he mentions there's a song he doesn't like. You're going to have to figure out what it is, because I know we all love his music. Thank you so much for doing this interview, but more importantly, thank you for putting together such a great documentary on such a great man.
Oh, thank you, Rudy. That makes us feel good. We want people to like it.